Hey, welcome to this week's Thrive in 5. It's Leanne Spencer of Body Shop Performance. We're talking about preventative health this month. And the next thing that we want to talk about is blood sugar balance. Now, there are a handful of things scientists believe contribute to longevity, which, as we've established, is about living a long, healthy life rather than just a long and potentially unhealthy life. And one of those things is blood sugar balance, or put another way, glycemic variability. And what it's talking about is the sort of up and down, whether it's drastic or otherwise, movement of your blood sugar. So let me explain at high level what this is about. So the body likes homeostasis when it comes to blood sugar. In other words, it maintains stability of health by remaining roughly the same. So the body doesn't like these big oscillations in blood sugar that come from stress, caffeine, exercise, but predominantly from the foods we eat. So what will happen if, let's say, you have some toast and jam? The blood sugar will go up quite quickly from the sugars within the bread and the sugars within the jam. So the beta cells in the pancreas will recognize that blood sugar levels are elevated, and it will dispatch insulin to go and bind to that glucose, take it out of the blood. So the net effect to you is big surge of energy, quite a big dump in energy when insulin does its job. So you then may potentially go for a coffee or a biscuit or something to provide you with some energy, and up you go again, and insulin does its job. So what is the trick to managing blood sugar? It's about eating stable foods that are slow release energy. So as an alternative to that toast and jam combo, it could be poached eggs on toast, because the protein in the eggs will slow down the absorption of the carbohydrate or the sugars in the bread, for example. But if you Google glycemic index and look for foods that are very high on that index and try and avoid them, it's largely going to be white rice, pastas, chocolates, all the things that you probably know intellectually are quite sugary. But there are some surprises there, like rice cakes, for example, a popular dieting snack. So have a look at the glycemic index and try and steer away from foods that are right at the top there. Google slow release energy foods as well and try and eat more of those. And of course, if you get the opportunity to have a consultation with a nutritionist, I absolutely would do that. I have one that I work with, and I've seen her from when we became vegetarian, for perimenopause symptoms, and just to get some really good personalised tips on how to tailor my diet so that my blood sugar balance is fairly well regulated. But that's a really big tip for you in terms of preventative health. So lots to think about there. Good luck, chew it over, make a few small changes and bed them into your routine before looking to do something else. That's it from me. I'll talk to you next week.